The first thing the president's wife did when she regained her sight was ask for a divorce. Everyone thinks she's ungrateful. After all, during the 3 years of marriage, I have spared no expense. Even her eyes were cured by me, risking my life with medication. And now, in the face of her distant indifference, there is no sadness in my heart. Rather, what I feel is guilt. In the living room, Xianing looked at me as I continued on with the journey. Fangen, I appreciate your care during the 3 years of my blindness. I am grateful in my heart, but our marriage has a contract. You are my husband, you protect me from the rumors, and I will solve the financial problems of your adoptive parents group. Now Luyan is back. I want to reconcile with him. I am so sorry. After the divorce, this house will be yours. I will give you 50 million more as a divorce settlement. After saying this, Sin doesn't dare to look at me. However, my reaction is surprisingly calm. I promise you, I say. Ning looked at me in a daze. There was none of the hysteria I imagined, raging and screaming. All I have is a smile. You have no reason to feel guilty, Xianing. Our marriage is just a contract. From the beginning, I knew your heart belonged to someone else. You saved my adoptive parents' conglomerate. I'm very grateful. So let's end it like the contract says. What's mine, I'll take. I pass the peeled apple to Xianing. Do you want to eat apples? I don't know why, but looking at this calm version of me in front of her, Xianing suddenly felt a void in her heart. Our marriage contract is for 5 years. After 5 years, the waters calm down, and you and I will get a divorce. Although it's only been 3 years, you are the employer. You have the right to decide anything. I have no right to object, isn't it? Xianing took the apple from my hands with a complicated look. At this moment, she felt that my love had suddenly disappeared. I'll find a time to move out. I won't cause you any trouble. You don't need to give me the house. According to the contract, just give me 10 million. It's fine. I could only sigh with relief when I returned to the room. Without getting the light back, I was waiting for the end of today. 3 years of marriage? I know more than anyone how much it hurts. Towards the moonlight, even in dreams, she calls out the other's name. Upon reaching the desk, I opened the drawer and took out a group photo. The woman in the photo looks 90% like Xianing. Those who don't know would think they're twin sisters. I'm sorry, all these years I've considered Xianing as your replacement. I know this isn't fair to Xianing. She's obviously the savior of my family, so I try to be the best I can be to her. Now that the contract is over, I can finally stop bearing this guilt. But I really miss you so much. Where are you? I hold the frame in my arms, enduring a heartache that was almost tearing me apart. There was a sudden knock on the door. I quickly hid the photo in the drawer. 3 years of marriage. This is the first time Xianing knocked on my door. She's never come to my room before, and has warned me multiple times that I shouldn't daydream, even if the world turned upside down. From beginning to end, there was only Luyan in her heart. Xianing saw my reddened eyes. I don't know why, but for some reason, she felt a slight joy in her heart. Me, who has cried, looks a little more handsome. Originally studied art and played the piano, I am the abstinent, melancholic, and artistic handsome guy who is very popular on the internet. If Sin regained her sight, she was shocked the first time she saw me. In Xianing's life, my looks definitely rank high. Not even Bio Wang and Luyan can compare. And when I saw Sin for the first time, it was like seeing that first girlfriend. Golden hair and a radiant smile. The beloved who played the violin, a platonic love. I almost stopped breathing. I confirmed time and time again that Xianing was not her, but another woman. The price of saving the Fang family was that I signed a 5-year marriage contract with Xianing. Xianing helped the Xi family get rid of the negative influence of the Lu family's rejection of the engagement. At the same time, I took care of Xianing's daily life. Following Xianing's orders, once the 5 years were up, the divorce would be done automatically, and I would receive 10 million. I knew Xianing didn't love me at all. The person she loved was Luyan, her moonlight. Xianing was the savior of the Fang family, but more and more, subconsciously, I saw her as a warm replacement, especially since she went blind. I couldn't bring myself to see her as a replacement for another girl. Sometimes I feel like I'm an incredibly selfish person. I even used a blind savior to satisfy my selfish desires while being overwhelmed with guilt. I made double efforts for Xianing for her salvation, even risking my life just to cure her blindness. So in the eyes of others, I do everything without complaining, even risking my life. But only I know the true suffering behind it. Now I can finally set myself free. I have no sadness, only relief and joy. Fangen, you know it. I hate it when others lie to me. I know what you've done for me in these 3 years. Everyone says that you love me madly, even though you violated the contract, causing more burden because you healed my eyes. It's just that you've always hidden your love for me, treating me like a fool. It makes me feel so bad. I didn't think Sining would say something like that. Clearly, I did it thinking about her. I didn't want to give her sight back just to cause unnecessary burden. And in the end, she made this matter clear. I'm sorry, Sining. I just didn't want you to overthink it and cause more burden. I can only let things continue to be bad. I can't say that I don't really love Sining. Being good to her. I just treat her as a warm replacement. This causes too much harm to Sining. Sing Haining looked at me seriously. Fengyan, to me, you have never been a burden. Hearing these words from Sining, I was stunned, not understanding what she really wanted. Sining also realized that her previous words were a little inappropriate. She cleared her throat. Although I could never fall in love with you, you healed my eyes. I am very grateful. This is within my responsibilities. If it weren't for your help, the Fang family would have gone bankrupt. Since the contract states that I must take good care of you, I must assume that responsibility. Fengyan, I feel like drinking milk tea. Okay, I'll go make it for you. As usual, as long as it's what she asks for, I will always accept it without hesitation. After I left, Sining didn't leave immediately, but carefully examined my room. 3 years of marriage, and Sining and I have been sleeping in separate rooms. The bed is very neatly made, the blankets folded into standard tofu blocks and placed in the corner. Apart from a wardrobe, there is practically nothing but a desk. It is very simple and also very clean. Sining, who has a strong OCD with cleanliness, didn't feel uncomfortable in this room. At that moment, Sining noticed that my drawer wasn't completely closed. Her OCD pushed her over. She wanted to help me close the drawer. Sining suddenly remembered passing by my bedroom door before. She had seen what I had put inside. It seemed like my most important treasure. Thinking about this, Sining got curious. Unexpectedly, she opened my drawer. When she lifted the frame and saw the photo, at that moment, I felt my whole energy flow into my brain. At the same time, I was in the kitchen, carefully giving instructions to the lady who was helping out. In these 3 years, I have used my sweetness and kindness to move everyone at home. Even the discerning family members recognized me as their son-in-law. Who would have imagined that in the end, Xianing would choose the white light that abandoned her back then? Aunt Sang, it's fine with me. For Sining, the milk is almost ready. Aunt Sang just thinks that I am showing off. During these 3 years, who couldn't see how much I loved Sining? Otherwise, how could I do something like this? Testing medicine on myself. Fangyan! Sining suddenly appeared in front of the kitchen, her expression uglier than ever. Singing, why did you come? The milk will be ready soon. Don't make a fuss. Sining suddenly lunged forward. I removed the unfinished cup from the table, but it splattered all over me. I looked dumbfounded at Sining in front of me. Miss! Aunt Sang exclaimed. What happened to her? She has always been dignified. Happiness and anger do not show on the outside. The woman who keeps calm. But today, why is she suddenly so angry? Look at this photo, she said. Without taking out the frame directly, she shoved it toward me. My face suddenly turned extremely pale. I opened my mouth, but couldn't say anything. Fangyan, I really didn't think you were a pervert. I can understand that you secretly collect my photos, but using these kinds of montage techniques to put me in your photos? The way you act like that really disgusts me. Aunt Sang was stunned upon hearing that. Mr. Yan, is what Miss said true? Please explain. You are not that kind of person, right? Fang Yan, do you really need me to give you an explanation? Sorry, Sining. I clenched my fists. I could only endure all this alone. Yes, I admitted. Furious, she threw the photo frame to the floor. You have really disappointed me a lot. I don't want to see you again. Now, get out of this house. The further away, the better. Breaking glass. My heart hurt a little too. That is the only photo that was left with my warmth. It is the most important treasure in my life. I could only lower my head and walk past Sining. At the entrance of the villa, I looked at the place where I had lived for 3 years. I sighed deeply. Finally, it's all over. Sining returned to the room, drinking red wine. Her beautiful pale face blushed from anger and alcohol, making her complexion a little rosier. Damn Fang Yan, at least take a spy photo of me. What does it mean to make me blonde? How come I didn't see before that I was blonde? Suddenly, the phone rang. Sining saw that the caller ID showed Luyan and looked a little relieved. She pressed the button to answer. "Sianing, the day after tomorrow, I will finish my business and return home. At that time, we can meet again." "Yes," Sining replied indifferently. "Sining, aren't you a little upset? Or is it that you can't forgive me?" Luyan's voice was a little restless. "I have decided to divorce Fang Yan. I am with you." Sining's expression was calmer than when she had been furious before. "I will tell Fang Yan that the person I love is you." Mentioning Fang Yan, Sining's mood worsened even further. "Sining, if you are in an even worse mood, I'll wait for you to return to the country. I'll pick you up at the airport. I have something to do. I'll hang up first." "Thank you, Sining." "Yes." Sining hung up the phone directly. There was a knock on the door. Aunt Sang opened it. Seeing that Sining's expression was more serious than when she had been furious before, she hesitated. Then she spoke in a low voice. "Miss, that photo? I feel bad just looking at it." Aunt Sang, after reporting, wanted to leave. Sining suddenly called out, "Aunt Sang, give me that photo." Hearing Sining say that, Aunt Sang didn't know what to say. She could only hand the photo she had picked up to Sining. In the end, Aunt Sang seemed to want to say something, but stopped. "If you want to help Fang Yan beg for mercy, forget it. I won't forgive him for his blatant and shameless behavior." "Miss, actually, I think this photo has a bit of nostalgia, not synthetic, look at you. This photo has yellowed. The material is probably from about 10 years ago." Sia was slightly surprised to hear that, looked carefully the photo. In fact, as Aunt Sang said, "This photo. Let's not talk about 10 years old, at least it's 7 or 8 years old. The most important thing is that Sai and I have only been married 3 years. Longer than that, Aunt Sang can't say turn and walk away." Sighing looked thoughtfully at the photo in her hand, although the woman in the photo looks a lot like Sin. But in reality, there are differences in the details. Uniform blonde hair, beauty spot between the eyebrows, the teeth that she shows when she smiles. Sining doesn't have that, the doubt in her heart. The more she thought about it, like a thorn stuck in her heart. "I can't make the call." In the end, yes, Ning took the phone. "She wanted to look for my phone number. Let me give the last explanation." But after going through the entire contact list, Sasining Ning suddenly realized that actually, she didn't have my phone number. Thinking about it, Sasining called her friend and secretary Li Wan. Soon the call connected. Liu Qian's voice had a hint of sleepiness. "Without it being so late, is there anything else?" Who? "Do you have Fan Yuan's phone number?" "Sining, is that your husband Yu asks me if I have his phone number. Did you perhaps tell Fang Yuan how?" Best friends Li Yuan naturally knew of Luyan's existence. She's Moonlight. After all, she's seen how their relationship developed. "I said I wanted to divorce him soon." "I don't know what to say to you, Fan. Joan is so good to you, he could even sacrifice his life for you. Luyan saw you go blind. Back then, I left you without a word, causing the group to fall into such a passive situation. The Lu family doesn't even say a word. Now that you've regained your clarity, he's coming after you asking for reconciliation. Isn't this a lovelorn thought?" Sining feels upset and anxious. Hearing Kanan, "If you don't have Fan Yuan's cell phone number, I'll hang up." Although she was prepared to be criticized, but Lian saw towards Sin coming with Luyan. How can she not understand Sin? "If you really divorce Fan, then I'll have to take this little dog after all. Fan, Joan is so handsome. Do whatever you want." "Yeah." Sinin hung up the phone immediately. She thought Li Wan was joking. She already got up very early. She had just gone downstairs. Breakfast was already prepared. Sia, as usual. First I drank a mouthful of porridge. Immediately frowned. This taste is different from what Sising has been drinking for 3 years. "Uncle Lee, haven't you taught the chef how to make this soup?" The butler Uncle Lee was stunned hearing it. He quickly opened his mouth. "Miss Digian has taught. I have demonstrated the recipe many times in front of the chef at home, but no one could replicate Mr. Jian's taste." Hearing that name, Sasining thought of that picture. His heart immediately felt tight. He spent so much effort that in the end he couldn't even learn how to make a soup. What a bunch of gluttons. I won't eat anymore. On the other hand, I had barely finished washing up. Then the phone rang. Seeing that it was a call from Liu Kanan, I was stunned. but still pressed to answer Miss Lu Liu's disgruntled voice reached my ears. "Why are you calling me Miss Lu? Call me Qian Tian. You fool." I coughed softly. "Kanan, what do you need? Was it that who asked you to look for me? That's not the case. Have you divorced Sin? It's already in process." "Are you okay?" Liyuan's heart ached inexplicably. She found out through S-Kong. Liyuan was just angry. How come her own boss and her friend are so blind not to take advantage of this good puppy? But she preferred that despicable man with no responsibility. At least Si-Kong instead. How is she? I was still worried that Si-Kong would be angry. "Leo." Kanan suddenly felt furious. "You're her husband. Don't you know how she is?" I moved out. She was saying, "Sin and Fangguan, you're so naive it's embarrassing. Can't you fight back a little?" At that moment, Sassy Kong just walked in. Liyuan could only hang up the phone. Hastily, she left me staring at the phone with a bitter smile. In the eyes of others, I didn't fight for anything. Actually, for me, this is a great relief. Xianing put her bag on the desk. Her beautiful eyes looked at Luke. Kanan, who made you angry?" Just a fool, by the way. "Sin, have you kicked Fan Yuan out of the house?" The company's activity was interrupted. He looked at Liu suspiciously. "How do you know? Have you contacted Fan Yuan?" Liyuan's heart jumped. She immediately found a way. Perfect way of covering it up. If he hadn't been kicked out of the villa, how could he call so late to ask me about his phone number? Could I just go find him? He's gotten into trouble mentioning this matter. I still can't hide the anger in my eyes. Saying Fangguan is willing to risk his life for you, even the chairman of the board approved it. Did you forget your eyes, who tried so hard to cure you? Qian, the person I love has always been. Luyan, no Fan. Yan, you've been watching me already. Luyan should know that Fan and I had a contract marriage. Taking care of me is part of the contract. It's what he's supposed to do. And besides, don't you know the disgusting things Fan Yuan did? Xianing told Liu about the photo. Liu opened her eyes. Suddenly, Fangguan secretly took pictures of. "You also doctored the picture to give you golden hair. That's why you got angry and kicked Fan Yuan out." "No. Are you really sure? The person in the picture is you? The picture is here. Look at it." Liyuan took the picture and looked at it. "Look closely. This girl really looks too much like Sinning. Without this photo, there are no signs of manipulation. I'm completely sure of this. Look at the yellowish marks on this photo. She is evidently more than 7 or 8 years old. Furthermore, this girl really does look a lot like you, but she clearly looks younger." Fangguan was also in a different middle school from Fan Zhong. Now, Kana, do you mean that Fan Zhong took a photo with me when we were in middle school? But the all-girls school I attended in middle school, there were no boys at all. After thinking about it a lot, Liu Qian could only come to this conclusion. That would be strange. Could it be that it was in Fan Yuan's middle school? He knew a girl who looked a lot like you. At this time, she didn't already have a lot of confidence. Otherwise, it wouldn't be reasonable at all. How can the world have such strange coincidences? Liu continued speaking in confusion. "And what did Fang Yuan say?" "He just said that he was sorry." "Kanan, look at Fan Yuan's attitude. It's not that I didn't give Fanon a chance, but he doesn't say anything. How am I supposed to not get angry?" Maybe Fan Zhong has some reason. Can't express. "I remember this high school uniform is from the 3rd Municipal. Why don't we send someone to investigate?" Back to Fang's house, Leo's mother personally came to the door to pick me up. After calling her mom, I handed over the gift in my hand. This child has already arrived. What gift did Li Wien Wanjin bring Pring? He said that and one hand took all my gifts inside. I'm used to it. I just smiled and your dad is working in the garden. The company is not prospering. He can't sit still. He's always thinking about tinkering with it. Life has become very difficult. John's mother first made a sad face. Then she spoke in a low voice. Fan, Juan said to his mother, "How is your relationship with Signing going? Did you help her get the light back? Have they told you anything about rewarding you?" I moved out of Cian's house. I know I can't hide this, so I decided to confess everything. Hearing this, Liu Wanyun's expression suddenly changed. "Moving is such a big deal. Why didn't you discuss this with us?" I was just about to say something. What is the old lady shouting about? I also heard it from this side. From the garden, Fang Wokang, dressed in a white t-shirt, just finished work, came in with an unpleasant expression. Wan Yun grimaced. "Old man, our son has already moved out," he said. "Sin, tell me, how can you ignore such a big thing? Why didn't this child talk to us? The marriage contract that was agreed upon with the Sia family from the beginning? Do you really expect Sinning to be with our son? Does she want you to leave?" "What can we say, old man? Your words are very sharp." Fan Guan helped Sin cure her eyesight. She immediately kicked her son out. "Isn't this wolf-hearted and dog-lunged? Wasn't it Sia who saved our Fang family? If it weren't for the help of the Sia family, our family would have gone to drink the northwest wind a long time ago. Besides, this trouble was caused by our son. What have you done now?" Liu Wanyun was speechless. He didn't know what to say. Fang Wokiang looked at Liu Wanyun and then at me. "Child, don't think about it anymore. Move back here." Fang Wang knows how I feel about Sia Sinning. Of all people, the Fang family is not worthy of Sia Sinning now. Sin has once again regained my clarity. Even less is it possible that he's with me. Li Wanjun began to speak hesitantly. Obviously, he doesn't want me to return. It seems that there are no rooms in the old man's house. Fang Wokiang was so angry that he stopped in his tracks. "The child wants to go back home. You say there are no rooms. You won't clean up. One throws away all those old clothes you had, Dad. Don't argue anymore. I rented an apartment outside. I plan to become a pianist again. Now that you've moved, this isn't enough. Besides, practicing will also annoy you. The best option is to live outside." Hearing me say this, F's mother's face relaxed a little. It's not that Mom doesn't want to, really. The company isn't working. Look at the situation at home. Now, I understand. Mom, I lowered my gaze. Even if the family offers help, it's only to help the Fang family avoid bankruptcy and debt collection. Now, to maintain daily expenses, also out of necessity, I sold the villa. I moved into this 3-bedroom apartment. You can live here if you want, but I'm an adopted child and I have a brother who studies abroad. All the money was spent on my brother. This home no longer has a place for me to marry. Sassing under a contract apart from my personal interests is also to repay gratitude to the Fan family for raising him when I am well off. I will leave Li Wanjun just dared to look for me sneakily? Fang Zhong must not let the Xia family get away with it so easily, even if it is a contract marriage. The Xia family helped our Fungus family settle debts, but you didn't help Sinning cure her eyes? She can't stop. So don't blame us if it's not necessary. We need to take out a little more money. Do you understand? Otherwise, you are stupid. By the way, I remember it ends in July. The Xian family's not going to give you any money. Fang Wokang came out and shouted at HIM directly to Liu Wanyun. Liu Wanjun, if you dare to covet Fan Yan's money, I will divorce you. When the Fang family faced a crisis, Fang Pudengi, you insist a lot of money. Send him abroad to study at a disreputable university. Fan Zhong is a piano genius street PA Conservatory of Music Sabao sent abroad. We only need pay a little money, the rest of the schools are covered. You didn't even want to, and you still let Fang Guan marry season into pay off debts. You have no conscience. Now, you even want to embezzle Fan Yuan's money. Liu Wanyun had reddened eyes, old man speak more clearly, who covets Fang Yuan's money. Just don't want our son to be harmed. Don't make what I say sound so evil. My head is hurting about to persuade. However, right at the door stood a Maibach. Open door descended an imposing and charismatic figure. It's Xiaying. Didn't think Xiaying would appear here, a little stunned Xiaying. What are you doing here? Fang and we need to talk. Get in the car. As for Fang Miang and Liu Wanjun, he felt and ignored me. Fang Zhong, so far you have nothing to explain to me. Xiaying, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have touched your photos end of July. Find a time, let's get a divorce and give me back my ID card and family registration book. I will no longer appear in your world. That is, you admitted that photo. It was intentionally manipulated. Xiaying was extremely angry. My breathing became rapid. She raised her hand as if she wanted to slap me. At this moment, I was ready to face the slap. It said, Sinning, I closed my eyes. The expected pain did not come. Fan Zhong, are you taking me for a fool? Last night, I was too angry. He didn't notice for a moment. Now you still tell me the photo is edited. I already had someone authenticate it a long time ago. There is no trace of synthesis on it. Who is this blonde woman? Why does she look so much like me? The last wanted to happen finally happened. Inside, there is no evidence of synthesis. So she kept talking. You don't say, did you think I couldn't find out? Don't make things so ugly. She is my friend. For some reasons, we have been disconnected for a long time. The first time I saw you, I was really surprised you guys look so similar, but you are not related. I don't say anything just so you don't think too much after knowing the truth. Sian's eyebrows finally relaxed a little. What is her name? Her surname is Wen, and her first name is Nuan. Is it really just a coincidence the high school years of Fan Wan happened to meet a girl who looked so much like her? Look at this photo. She is very precious. A spark of guilt passed through her gaze. Yes, she is a very good friend of mine. My smile seemed extremely sad seeing this. Sian felt very upset. Could it be that Fan Wan takes care of himself? All the meticulous care, these 3 years, warmth and attention? Everyone sees themselves as warm substitutes, she originally wanted to ask. But the words just fell to her lips without being able to say anything proud like seizing. If you really knew such an answer from my mouth, I don't know how Siaseng would react. Don't misunderstand. In these 3 years, I have always seriously fulfilled the contents of the contract. You saved the Fan family and me. Such a great favor NOI can repay you. The reason why I don't want to explain is that I'm afraid that you'll think too much. I hurried to say to her, a guilty expression crossed her gaze. Sais didn't pay attention to my expression, but hearing me say this, she felt a little more relieved in her heart. And how was that girl called Warmth? I don't know, without Fan, she seemed to have evaporated from the world, left nothing behind. The only memory I have of her is this photo together. So, do you want to take the photo? Hearing this, Sinning said, I raised my head. Instinctively, my eyes flickered for a moment. Would you be willing to return it to me? Yes, she originally wanted to return it. But, as I said it casually, she saw how excited I was. Suddenly, Sinning didn't want to return it. Then you have to promise me a condition. Without thinking, I replied, tell me any condition. I'll accept. Hearing this, Sia Sining's heart felt like it had been pricked with a thorn. What condition is acceptable? Is a photo so important? Don't regret it. After saying this, simply looked for a way to leave me. She wouldn't let me continue talking. Sinning simply threw the photo out the window. I picked it up like it was a treasure. The surprise and excitement in her eyes couldn't be hidden. I really appreciate it very much. Sia returned coldly. A look of disdain crossed her face. Fan Chenan, don't rush to thank me for the favor I owe. It's not something just anyone can repay. After saying that, he stepped on the accelerator. The car disappeared before my eyes. Sin took out his cell phone. He called to investigate the student files of the second middle school in the city. If there was a student named Wen known, I want all of her information. Liu Qian looked towards her, without returning to the office with a face of displeasure. My miss, who made you angry, goddess? There is a piano room in the house I rented. There is a white piano inside that was left behind by the owner of the house. Therefore, the owner of the house rented it. He demanded that I be a pianist who knew how to play the piano. I was to help polish the piano before the owner returned, so the rent is also quite low. I just found it for a good price. I am a piano prodigy who appears once every several decades. I placed the photo on the piano stand so that it stands out in the position that receives the most sunlight. A lot has happened in Weinen's life lately. Now I have to start playing the piano again, after having left it for so many years. I believe that if you are still in this world, as long as I continue to play the piano, one day we will definitely meet again. My fingers caress the photo, remembering the past. Everything is sweetness. Suddenly, the phone rings. When I saw the caller ID, people can stop their breath for a moment. Finally, I pressed the button to answer Teacher Azu on the other end of the phone. A sweet female voice was heard. Fan, Joan, do you have the nerve to look for me? I'm sorry, Teacher Zhu. Sorry for worrying you for so long. I don't want to hear your reasons, so we agreed. I have not forgiven Suo's voice a little cold as a music teacher at my university. Su Rowao knows better than anyone of my talent. I am a piano prodigy who only appears once every several decades. Teacher Su firmly opposed the general opinion. She gave me the only direct admission place to the Music Academy of Sao Paulo. She thought that if she gave me the opportunity to grow, I would undoubtedly become a pianist who would leave my mark on history. So at that moment, Suao personally came to my house and advised me with kind and sincere words. She was even willing to invest in me, that I should study abroad. However, I ended up quitting, so angry that she blocked me from all her contacts. A year later, Su-ro suddenly received a text message from an unknown number. Professor Su was asking if I still wanted to play piano. Was there still a chance? Su-ro instinctively felt that it was a text from me. The fact that I quit back then felt like a betrayal. A dagger that didn't shed blood pierced deep into Su-ro's heart. At that moment, I gave a bitter smile. I knew my flight to Kyoto is tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Come pick me up. Hearing Su-ro say that, I was stunned. This is your last chance. I'm here to pick someone up that a talent like yours should never give up like that. I value your talent, but I didn't forgive you. When I realized it, I replied with overflowing joy. I know thanks to you, Professor Su. Airport. The next day, I arrived at the MP channel to pick up the plane at the agreed time. My phone vibrated. It was a message from Su with a green balloon. I went to the bathroom, wait 10 minutes. But just at that moment, a familiar figure approached. It was Sinan Niwan. Niwan looked at me in surprise. Fangan, what are you doing here? What a coincidence. Kanan, Kian Saying. I came to pick someone up. X, a sign, looked at me with hidden meanings. Fangan, you are not following me, right? Saying this, Liu Kanan and I were stunned. I quickly tried to deny no sin. I am not following you. I didn't know you were coming to the airport today. Liu Qian, in a moment of support, said yes, Sining. You don't know what character Fanjon has. You can't accuse him unjustly. Before Liu Qian finished speaking, a figure suddenly ran over here, hugged. Sinning, tightly, signing. I miss you so much. Finally, I'm back by your side. See you again, Luyan. He felt very happy for a moment. Luyan, don't do that. There are so many people watching. Then reason returned. Xian frowned without a trace. Get away from Luyan's arms, barely. Regaining clarity. Take back control of the group. SIA, countless eyes were fixed on Xiaoying. The most important thing is the Broe. Time still here. Luyan's eyes flashed with a gloomy look. Xia surprisingly broke free of her own free will. If, in the past, this would definitely not have happened, turning around, Luyan noticed me, pretended to be surprised, and said, What are you doing here? Could it be that you came following Sin? She comes to pick me up at the airport. If you were a man, how is it possible that you also come sternly? You're following Sassaning, secretly planning to interfere with my reconciliation with Xia Sining. What a cunning man. Xia Sining also looks at me suspiciously. Only Liu helped me fight back. Luyan, watch what you say. He came here to pick someone up who is following Sing. When I still wanted to say something suddenly, I heard a clear voice from behind me to Su-ro Wao approaching in high heels. Fang Yuan made you wait for a long time. Hearing that I went towards her like seeing a savior. Teacher Zhu, let me help you with the luggage. There is no need, I can carry it myself. I know Su-ro is still upset, Teacher Su. I've decided to go back this time. I won't back down, I swear. Su-ro gave me a look. If you dare to leave again, I'll break your hand. In front of Su-ro's threat, I just smiled slightly. Su-ro let out a light snort. May I consider a forced recognition? Have you played the piano in the past 3 years? I replied with resignation, very little. Su-ro Wao's eyes showed a flash of disappointment. Come to my house now and play for me. Once you saw you haven't practiced much in 3 years, I hope you don't end up as a child prodigy who wastes his talent. You're wasting your talent like this. It only makes me want to ruin you completely. Seeing Su-ro talking so animatedly with me, it seemed like there was no one else around that made Liu Kan feel very upset. An inexplicable sense of crisis washed over me. Fan Yan, who is she? I introduced. She is Professor Su-ro from Waxia Music Academy. She was also my mentor at music school. Now I plan to return to the piano world. I want to continue learning with Professor Zhu. Liuan felt more and more uncomfortable. She exclaimed in surprise. Do you know how to play the piano? Why have I never heard you play? Suddenly, it seemed like he had never gotten to know you well. I can only answer with a wry smile. I have been too busy these 3 years. I don't want to be overwhelmed. Yes, suddenly she felt her face burn up. Originally, I thought you followed me to the airport. In the end, you were really coming to pick her up. I'm sorry, Fanjoan. I misunderstood you just now. I waved my hand, not caring. Suro recognized Sia Singh. Her voice carried a hint of joy. You're seeing, right? Your eyes have recovered. At the same time, I'm also a little curious. You're Rao from the Zhu family. I immediately realized who you were. The Zhu family you belong to. Your Ro is very powerful, only slightly inferior to Sia. Before, when Sning hadn't gone blind yet, I had met your Ro several times at the banquet. Sinin, let's go. Don't stay here. Aoyan ignored her. It bothered her a lot. It seems that everyone's attention is on me. Surawao was even more surprised. This time, yes, Asading has regained clarity, reunited with Luyan. This relationship is so confusing that it's creepy. I don't want to be the third wheel here anymore. Teacher, should we go too? After all, it's a private matter, Sinning was saying. Sir. She didn't dare to ask more, so she followed me as I left. Luyan noticed Xian's eyes, then looked at me. Her eyes narrowed. He radiated a dangerous feeling. Without feeling that Fanjoan is very strange, does this man have some special hobby? Does he like to spy on us as a third wheel? Just now he was insisting on not leaving, a mere replacement. Yet he is acting so arrogant here. Luyan deliberately spoke loudly as if it was intentional for her to hear. Su Rowao frowned. Without it being noticeable, she of course heard him, looking curiously at my profile. We talked when the teacher Su leaves? Luyan blushed with rage. Luyan, aren't you going too far? She looked curiously at my profile. Now you dare to speak like that. Luyan looked at Lukian quite unhappy. Kanan, which side are you on? I'm only on the side, Justice. Leo answered directly. Well, Kanan and Luyan didn't mean it. Sia noticed that the gazes of the people around her were directed towards her. She doesn't want to attract attention. What wasn't intentional? Yes, don't forget, who cured your eyes? And who was with you during those 3 difficult and painful years, accompanying you? No complaints, no regrets. It's Fan, not Luyan. Xiaying also turned pale with rage. She knows everything. I just heard what Luyan said. Does it really feel like a filter has broken? When did she become like this Luyan? Separated for 3 years? Has changed Luyan. Seeing that Xia's expression is not right, Luyan quickly tried to calm her down sweetly. It's okay. No, don't be angry. I was just jealous just now. After all, it's been Joan who has accompanied you these 3 years. I love you so much. I said those things angrily, because I felt bad in my heart. I know it was Fanjoan. It was she who accompanied you through these painful 3 years. Now I'm back. I will treat you well. How about Sning? Luyan has another very important mission. This time, she can't fail. Luan can't stand the despicable man's fake acting. As she turned around, she said to me, I hope you don't take Luyan's screams to heart. Luyan was so angry that his face turned red. Sinan, look at Kanan. I'm sure you've been pampered too much in front of you. My boss. Do you dare to humiliate me like this? Sia sighed lightly. Let's talk again when we get back. Okay. Seizing. Whatever you say, I'll accept it. I know that I owed you before. Now I'll make it up to you double. Under Luyan's sweet words and repeated assurances, Sinin and Luyan held hands. In the taxi, Surawu looked at me. When we get home, play me something. I nodded in response. What's your relationship with Sinin? I looked at Su Rowao in surprise. Then I explained everything in detail. Su Rowao was so shocked that she couldn't speak. She knew that if Sinin had gotten married, she didn't expect that person to be me. Private Villa Kyoto and Yunsan. When the car brought me here, I'm a little confused, because this is where Su Rowao and I lived for 3 years. Professor Su, didn't you live in Wasia before? In the teacher's residence of the music academy. I moved here after having a fight with you. I went abroad to study for 3 years. When you looked for me, I was just getting ready to return to the country. I heard that if he lives here, aren't you supposed to get a divorce? Are you still that scared of her? I didn't hear the jealous tone in Suo's words, he explained, not. Only am I surprised I didn't think it was that much of a coincidence. Now I'm in the process of getting divorced with SIA Sin. We've already moved, so if we meet, it doesn't matter. I'll say the ugly things in advance. 3 years ago, it was you who disappointed my expectations. This time, it was you who looked for me. If the smell from 3 years ago gets lost. Su Rowao didn't continue speaking, but instead made a throat-cutting gesture. This action didn't scare me, but instead made me get serious. Professor, this time, I will never disappoint your expectations again. It comes from the villa in front of me, Su Ro. Finally, she lowered her gaze. I didn't say much. I simply sat quietly in front of the piano, with my long, pale fingers. I gently touched the black and white keys. Natural, running water. A majestic musical passage emerged, seeing that I didn't back down. Each note was like the surface of a lake shimmering under the moonlight, shone with a radiance. Silver fell softly like moonlight through the river of time. Su Ro closed her eyes, listening to my music. My thoughts flowed. At the same time, a mayach just passed by the gate of the villa, Si and Song sitting in the back seat. Suddenly, she asked to stop the car. The driver stopped. What's wrong with Mr. Xia? Xia gestured for them to be quiet. I could hear that melodious piano music coming from the villa in front of me. Strangely, it calmed my fluttering heart. I said, Sinting, what's up with hugs and kisses? Luyan talked a lot about his past. It seemed like nothing had changed. They were still on the university campus, the ideal couple that makes everyone envious. They were a pair of lovers, incredibly compatible in wealth, appearance, and skills. Sining was really happy. She had been thinking about her first love for 3 years. He had really come back. Although it had been 3 years, Luyan seemed to have changed. He was no longer the same person in Shane's memories from 3 years ago. The one who loved Shane deeply, so courteous. After all, time flies, some changes are normal. The important thing is that he is still himself. Just like when they separated, Luyan actually wanted to kiss Xiang. He was behaving inappropriately towards Xiang and made overly intimate gestures. Xiaoning told Luyan to stop. Luyan still has an expression of great impatience, said they should make up and be boyfriend and girlfriend. What's with the hugs and kisses at this point? Sin can't accept it. 3 years have passed. In Jia Sin's most painful moment, Luyan never appeared. This fact finally left a mark in Si's heart that cannot be erased. And Louis knew this. However, now he seems very unhappy. So when Luyan said she wanted to take Xiao Sining home, her first reaction was to reject it. Although Xia noticed that Luyan's expression turned bad, but she didn't soften. Luyan burst into tears and admitted her mistake on the other end of the phone, wanting to reconcile with Xiaoying. Xia wanting to get back together with Luyan is destined to face many storms. The lack of understanding and criticism from friends and family, all of this only irritates Sin more. Doing all this, the premise is that Luyan doesn't deserve it. If the ex-Lu Ping would definitely have gentlemanly manners, he would respect Sning. Now in my mind, there are only men who want to take advantage of Xia Sining. She really is the perfect moonlight of my memories. I remember that this villa has been empty for years. Xia Sining suddenly mentioned this matter. Those who can live in the Siyun-san private villa are the richest elites in Kyoto. We all see each other when we look up, and when we look down to a greater or lesser extent, there will be some contact if this person Xiaoying can't not have some impression. In the 3rd year since Xia Sining went blind, it was me who opened my heart to her. Little by little, Xiaoning began to have hope. She was willing to go out and walk around the private villa area. She was no longer afraid of interacting with others. Hearing me talk about some small things in daily life were such boring things. I always managed to make Sining laugh. It made Sining feel more relaxed that I never dare not take Xiaoying's hand. Instead, I supported her closely, but with much distance. Listen to my deep and magnetic voice, feel the scent of the wind and the sun. Who lives here? Xia's heart is not so desperate and pained. Fang Yuan. How is he now? Where to? It was with his Ro. After being kicked out of the house, where did I go to live again? I don't know. She kept thinking about me, who I met today at the airport, and the scene with Su Rowao. They seem like a good couple. That's right, CIA. Yesterday I drove by here. We haven't met anyone. I guess the owners came back today. Who lives here? Yes, she asked curiously. What? Can he play Beethoven's haunting Moonlight Sonata so fluidly and naturally? He must be a very famous pianist. Yes, I don't know either. I asked the property Sining wants to know the identity of the villa's owner. Piece he plays on the piano has a magical power. It can soothe the restlessness in Sining's heart. It can easily flow on Xia Sining's heartstrings. Xiaoying wants to meet him. You said, The owner of this villa is Uro. Yes, ma'am, Sia. Don't tell anyone. As the property of a high-end private villa, information about residents must be strictly confidential. This is the consultation of the crown princess of the tycoons. Sia Singh. Only then did the property manager dare to leak a little. Sia hung up the phone, confused and agitated. Also, Su Ro is the heir of the SU Group. Does her family have the ability to purchase a private villa on Siyun Mountain? At the same time, Su Ro is also from the Guaxia Music Academy. The youngest teacher is also known as the child prodigy of the Guaxia piano world. It is precisely Su Ro. When thinking of Su Ro, Sia doesn't know why she feels so upset. Am I now in Su Ro's villa? Su Ro was still playing the piano for me. In Siang's mind, I involuntarily appeared. I and Su Ro were a couple in love. Various images of affection and closeness suddenly appeared. Suddenly, a strong feeling of sadness gripped my heart. The song ends. Saru still had her eyes closed, recalling Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. That I played. 5 minutes later, slowly opening my eyes. You haven't touched the piano much in these 3 years. Your hands have become clumsy? Do you regret it? Right? Coming back is the withering question. Yes. I scratched the back of my head in embarrassment. Although yesterday I used the owner's white piano, I practiced intensely all night. But in the end, it had been too long since I played. It's still a little rusty. The good thing is you haven't lost your talent. There is a persistence in the sound of your piano. This obsession can attract. Listeners, take it to your piano. These skills can be recovered through practice. You yourself are a talent. But if the aura and obsession are lost, you can never get it back. You have a value that justifies my return. My face shows joy. I knew that her words meant I had passed the test. I nodded quickly. Thank you, teacher. I definitely will not disappoint your expectations. Having said that, I have not forgiven you for having abandoned your career 3 years ago. The stupid decision of marrying Sia without... I just want to make our nation shine. I simply do not want waste a talent like you. Ahem, ahem. Su Ro was talking halfway. Suddenly, a coughing fit. No, first I have to make a call. There is too much dust. They don't do their job well, even if they charge. Su Ro took out his phone after asking. I found out that the cleaning company she was looking for had closed half a year ago. At that time, Su Ro was studying abroad. He hadn't been able to contact her because it is a first-class private villa. If you don't get the owner's consent, you are not allowed to enter the property. This is really a misunderstanding. Miss Su, don't worry. We will send someone immediately to help you clean quickly. Su Ro hung up the phone, looked at me, Fan Joan. The property sent someone to clean. It will take some time. Where do you live? I live in the New City residential complex. Do you have a piano? Nodded. Yes. Then go there, play some more for me. My Deching was still parked at the entrance of the villa. Didn't leave the driver. Didn't dare to say or ask. She was immersed in her thoughts. She didn't even notice when the sound of the piano stopped, until the door of the villa opened me, and Su Ro got out from inside. The driver was the first to notice and exclaimed, Surprised, Mr. Sia. Isn't it Mr. Fang Fangwen? Xianing instinctively looked through the car window, seeing me walk with Su Ro while we were chatting about something. The smile on her face was the sincerity that Sin had never seen came from the heart. Turns out, when he was really happy. This is how I look when I smile. When I'm next to him, I've ever smiled like that. Everyone says, I love Sin so much that I would be willing to risk my life. The old Xianing thought so too, until she saw the warm photos. Her resolve began to waver because she doesn't know that, in my eyes, it's her Xianing, or when known. The more she thought about it, Xianing's heart became more confused. Fangan, you drive. Su Ro gave me the car key. Immediately after, I saw that there was a Mayach blocking the entrance of the villa. The private villa has its own garage, but there was only one way out of here. Su Ro should come over and negotiate. She walked over and knocked on the window. Hello, now are we going to leave? Could you move your car, please? I looked towards the source of the sound, seeing that familiar Maya Ning. She was stunned. The window slowly rolled down. Cheyenne's face was exposed. Sia Chen was the first to speak. What a coincidence. Su Ro, I didn't expect this villa to be yours. I passed by here just now. I discovered that an empty villa for years, played with a piano, and it sounds so beautifully. I stayed longer than I wanted. I didn't expect you. Su-ro. Now you'd better play. You're wrong. Xia Ning. The person who played the piano just now wasn't me, but that was when Fan Wan said. This left Sin completely stunned. It was Fan Wan who played. She couldn't believe it was Xia who played too. She didn't know what to say. At that moment, she really didn't know any of this. Marry me. It was purely out of desperation for the Xia family. They wanted to regain the group's prestige. They looked for someone easy to control. The Fang family is short of money, and I also have good looks. I'm willing to fully cooperate with the Xia family to clean up the humiliation at the time. Xia Xining had no right to say no to this marriage, nor did she have the right to refuse. After all, the storm was caused by Xia Xining. At that time, Xia Xining went blind. No machine could detect abnormalities, not even the best ophthalmologist could do anything. From princess privileged of a tycoon becoming disabled overnight, was abandoned by the beloved Silyu, falling into the deepest darkness. Xiang couldn't even save herself. How could she have time to care about others? The most important thing is, I never told her I knew to play the piano. I approached Su-ro, looking towards Sin. I opened my mouth in a low voice. How come you have returned? Hearing that Sin lost control, suddenly shouted at me. Here is my house. How can I not return? Hearing that Xia Xining was so agitated, we were all shocked. When I came back to reality, I hurried to explain. Seeing, don't misunderstand, I didn't mean it like that. I'm just thinking, the Lord has brought him back. Why don't you spend more time with him? In theory, Seeing should have gotten what he wished for with the return of the moonlight. Now, you should be loving and close. How comes she still has time to return to the villa and I didn't see Luyan following me? Fan Joanne, do you like him so much, right? Don't forget, your current identity is my husband. I am with other men. Are you so anxious? She doesn't even know what she's saying. She just feels anger rising inside her. She can't control herself. Suddenly, the whole place fell deathly silent. It's also inevitable that I'll get a little angry. The person who wants to get a divorce and be with Luyan. Those sin between us are only a contract marriage. From the beginning, Xia warned me from the start that I shouldn't have any illusions. She only has Luyan in her heart. And I just want to return the favor. Considering Sin as a substitute like that. I feel guilty for her, and I work hard without complaining. I only had remorse for her, and she was self-sacrificing. Without complaining, it's just a marriage tied by a contract. What are we talking about now? Sinitas. Asto is just insulting me. It's a bit absurd. Su-ro frowned, leaving no trace. Yes, like that. Cheng? I heard that Fang Zhong and you are already in the process of divorce. Fang Yandu moved out of your house. Luan came back from abroad today. You say things like that. Aren't you afraid that Luan will feel sad hearing it? She was seeing him for the first time. Xing can't control her emotions like this, mentioning her love's name. Platonic calmed down a bit. Fangin, come back with me. I shook my head. Now, I should go practice piano with Teacher Zhu. We'll talk about anything tonight. Sasinin was stunned for a moment. This is the first time she rejected Cheyenne's request. At the same time, what was lingering in Cheyenne's heart is an inexplicable sadness. Xinghen didn't want anyone to see her. She closed the car window. Go back. Yes, the driver quickly made the Maybach leave. Then I took the Porsche Cayenne out of Sir. I quickly left. First officer seat Su-ro looked at my profile. Fang Zhong, are you sure you're getting a divorce? Sinin was saying, right? Her crush is back. I moved out of the villa. Maybe there is any doubt then. Why did she react so intensely? Before, according to her Rose assumption, I'm just a tool hired by Xia's family as a shield. With my family background, is definitely not enough for Xia's family now. Xia decided to do it for Luyan, end this marriage of convenience with me. Why does she care where I am and still called husband? Siena's recent behavior in Su-ro's eyes seemed like she was jealous. Su-ro understood what had happened and shook his head in resignation. I don't know either. After calming down, I think my attitude towards her was a bit too much. Moreover, with a guy like Luyan, a man without principles, Xian still hadn't considered her precious crush. How come I didn't see it before? Apart from entering and leaving the property, it turns out she's still a hopeless romantic. Now they are together again. I believe the Sei family won't agree so easily. She still has a difficult road ahead of her. And as the person involved, I also have no right to comment on this. About her obsession with crushes, Cian and I are 50 steps away from each other. No one has had a better life than the other. The night is slowly getting darker. Cian stood in front of the French window of the study, waving a glass of red wine in his hand, looking out the window with a lost gaze. From here, you can perfectly see Suro's villa, apart from the movements of the property. Suro and I haven't returned yet. It's already very late. I suppose you've practiced enough, right? Where could they have gone? Did they go to dinner together, or are they staying out? Won't they be coming back today? The more I think about it, if like this, she feels more and more distressed. She doesn't know. Why does she care so much about where I'm going with her? Clearly, she had already made up her mind. Suddenly, the phone rang. Sino's heart skipped a beat. She thought it was me calling. She quickly looked it up and saw it was Luyan. Siasen's excitement faded instantly. She pressed the answer button. What happened to Lucen? Cian made a black forest cake with my own hands. Is this your favorite food? I'm on my way to your house. When mentioning things from the past, Siasen's eyes showed a little more intention. At least Luyan is aware. He knows that she loves the black forest cake that he makes when she was tired from studying and working. Luyan always appears at the right time. She brought Sinan some handmade food to calm Sinan's anxiety. If it weren't for Luyan's consideration for so many beautiful memories in the past, how could Sinin, after being dumped by Luyan, still can't forget it? Luyan had better not. Come on, Luyan, who had a loving expression, remained silent. Why Sini? Do you already have someone else in your heart? What are you saying, Luyan? Don't forget that I'm not divorced yet. Besides, what you did in the past, my family doesn't approve. Now I need time to resolve these contradictions. Otherwise, being together, I could never count on anyone's blessing. Besides, now that you've come to my house, what would happen if the journalists saw us? The explanation was saying Sini barely addressed Luyan's suspicions. Then Sini will go for a moment. I just want to see you eat the black forest cake I made with your own lips. Okay. In front of Luyan's not excessive prayers, Sini remains silent for a moment. Okay, Luyan. After all, today is Luyan's first day back home. Cian can't spoil her temper too much, even through the filter of moonlight. Today, Luyan was clumsy. After disrespecting Cian, she was very broken, but Luyan is still the moonlight in Ci's heart, whom she loves, after hanging up the phone today. Luyan was clumsy. A BMW C17 arrived. Forget about Luyan in an instant. I parked the car firmly in the garage. Teacher Zhu, we have arrived. I took a look and realized that Surowo had fallen asleep at some point. Surowo really was tired. She hurriedly returned from an early morning flight. She hardly rested at all. She only practiced the piano with me. It seemed like we had returned to the past. Before, Surowo had high expectations of me. Always accompanied me to practice. Even rejected many personal matters. Thinking of this, I felt deep remorse. I can't express the reason why I quit. At the time, I owe Su too much. Yet, I took the initiative to admit my mistakes. Suro still didn't hesitate to fly back from abroad. This time, I won't let you down. I took the initiative to apologize. I played a relaxing piano piece and closed my eyes. My mind unconsciously conjured up a warm smile. I have re-entered the path as a pianist. If I could meet you again, playing the violin to accompany me, how nice it would be after a busy day. I am also tired. Without realizing it, I fell into sleep. A moment later, someone was knocking on the car window. It was Surowo who woke up first. She rubbed her throbbing temples, looked at me beside her. Wow, what a surprise you fell asleep, Suro. Pressed the button on the car window as if my eyes were the unfamiliar face of a middle-aged aunt. Is there anything you can do? Excuse me, Miss Su. I am the maid of Mr. Sia's family. I am here to see Mr. Fang. Hearing Aunt Sang's knock, I slowly woke up. Professor Su. Excuse me, I fell asleep. Aunt Sang, what are you doing here? Mr. Si asked me to come. He said he had something to discuss with you. Have you go to the villa? Understand, I realize my attitude today was a bit exaggerated. I will have to explain. Well, when I see like this professor, then I will go first. We will contact by phone tomorrow. Get my promise. Surowo's heart finally jumped slightly. Wait for me to return to the villa with Aunt Sang. The mister is in the study. Mr. Fang, may you come? I opened the door and entered. Siasanin was sitting on the sofa drinking red wine. There's a light scent of wine in the air, plus Siasanin's cheeks were flushed. I knew she'd had enough to drink. I called out softly, "Cyan's here." Hearing this, she put down her glass. Her beautiful eyes fell on me. "Where did you go with Surawao today?" "Practice the piano." "Practicing for a whole day is still not enough. You came back so late." She also led Surawao back to the Fangan mansion. "Do you know what your identity is?" Now, if someone sees us, my husband Sinin, taking another woman home, everyone lives in the Seunsan private mansion. How many people recognize you? Don't you know? I don't know if it was because you were drunk or something else. Siane's voice sounds higher. I don't quite understand what she's thinking. Sasanin, you've been getting close to Suro. Isn't that what she wants? Azien won't think that I have hidden intentions towards her will also help Shinan and Lu Yan get back together. That way we get married under a contract. I'm about to finalize the divorce process. In addition, I only have a teacher-student relationship with the teacher. It's better if we find a time soon. Go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get a divorce, so it will be better for both of us. Without letting me finish, Scene interrupted directly. Do you really want to divorce me to be with your Ro? Siasanin was barefoot, walked towards me on the Persian carpet that had brought the smell of alcohol from her body, reached my nostrils with fatal charm. Siasanin, you are drunk. Siasanin is not awake at all. Now what she said makes no sense. I don't get drunk that easily, Fanjoan. As long as we haven't formalized the divorce, the contract still exists. Don't forget one of the rules of the contract. Don't get too close to other women ruining the family's reputation. I'm a little amused, Siasin. This is a double standard filing for divorce and dissolving the contract who wants to be with their crush. Luyan is Yasenin. Let me speed up the divorce process. Move out of the villa. Don't stop Luyan and Sinin from rekindling their love. I will do whatever you ask. From beginning to end, I fully followed Siasanin's rules. However, Siasanin said in front of me, the contract still exists, but Siasanin is the sponsor. My 10 million is still in Siasanin's hands. Besides, Siasanin saved the Fang family. I'm a grateful person. Besides, Siasanin is clearly drunk. Now explain to Siasin. She can't hear anything. It would be better to please Siasin. It's okay. It was my fault, Siane. Don't drink anymore. The past 3 years together with Siasin, I'm not here just to be. I know how to calm her down, so Shining can calm down quickly. So under my comfort, she gradually calmed down. Even the drunkenness has sobered me a lot. Remembering what they asked me just now, Siasin cleared her throat. Fangan, why don't you move back in here? I thought that Siasanin had calmed down a bit. Finally, we can talk about the divorce. In the end, she had calmed down, but as soon as she opened her mouth, she left me speechless. Even the drunkenness has cleared up quite a bit. It was a misunderstanding about that photo. Now we're not divorced yet. You moved out of the mansion, and you're still seeing her and the others. They will inevitably think more when they see him. No, Sinin, then what about you with Mr. Lu seeing me look right? I want to quickly make the relationship between Siasin and Luyan a reality. Siasinin was very unhappy inside Fangzhou. 3 years ago, Luyan finally left me. His irresponsible departure joined the group. In chaos. Do you think the family would accept Luyan so easily? I need some time to convince my family, get them to accept me back, that I'm with Luyan now. We can't get a divorce. If we get a divorce, they will seriously get very angry. It won't be good for the group's reputation. SIA seems to be very right in saying that I'm so shocked. I don't know what to say, but I can continue to stay by her side, by Siane's side, really. I'm afraid that Inin will discover it one day in my eyes without realizing it. I have always treated Siane as a warm substitute. At that time, only it will attract more trouble. After thinking about it a lot, I had to use Luyan to suppress Sinin. But will Mr. Luo give in? I will explain to Ayan. He'll understand. Sian, think about it carefully. If we don't get a divorce, you will still be a married woman. You will still be seeing Mr. Lu. If journalists see you, it will also cause a negative impact. To the group, Sia. I will solve that. Sia-sen spoke with confidence. No, said Fan, that you owe me a favor. I want you to keep the marriage on paper now. Wait for me to convince my family so I can be with Luyan again, plus I will personally give you 5 million as compensation. I am out of options. It is not about money. There are 10 million as compensation at the end of the contract. That's more than enough for me to continue living under the same roof as Siain. The secret, the goal of Luyan. I'm back on the piano. There will probably be many ups and downs, but I promised a favor towards Senin. Senin, you have saved many families. Your kindness towards me is immense. I don't need the money. I can also move back to help the family see, maintain their reputation. However, we should still get a divorce. At the same time, the content of the contract should be modified for the past 3 years. I gave up my career to take care of you in every aspect because I was worried about your blindness. Now you have recovered. I must also go after my own musical life. I won't give in on this. Consider this as my way of repaying the kindness and guilt towards Sasinin. At this point, I won't give in any further, then I will retire would be the best. Sayasin, hearing me say this first. Calm down, I must definitely get a divorce. It's because of his Reo, he is not a fan. The one who loves himself the most. Really, Sayazinin couldn't even sacrifice his life to love her. I returned to the country by Su-Ro. That's how I insisted on the divorce. I even blessed him to be with Luyan in my heart. She who is in reality. I know tonight I won't get any answer. I can only talk first. Calm down yourself. This is the best way for you and me. After saying that, I turned and left. Sayasinin opened her mouth. I wanted to hold back, but she couldn't say anything. I need to cancel the contract. The divorced person is Sayasinin. Clearly I made it possible, however, she is not as relieved and happy as I imagined. The butler Lisu stepped forward and asked, Mr. Fang, how is Mrs. Xia's situation? The butler Uncle Li came over and asked, Oh, Mr. Fang, speak honestly. Lu, worthy of Chairman SIA, the person who should really be by Madam Xia's side is you. After all these years, how good am I to Xia? Uncle Li is seeing everything. Uncle Lai never expected that Xia would regain her clarity and could be with me forever. Right now, Xia is because of that despicable man who abandoned her 3 years ago. What really worries Uncle Li? Uncle Li, your words are exaggerated. Mr. Luis Yasinin is a match made in heaven. The key is that he is the only man that Xia loves deeply. I don't deserve her at all. Right now, I really have a pain that I can't express. I can only borrow it to bless Xia and Luyan. Uncle Li shook his head. For a man like Luyan, get a divorce. I'm afraid that Xia will regret it in the future. Because Xia was temporarily blinded, she threw away the sweetness of the past without explanation or company. He disappeared instantly without a trace. Can such a man really bring Xia happiness? I'm afraid that not one of my feathers will reach her height. Later on, Sayasinin will face difficulties again. Uncle Lino doesn't believe that Luyan is like me. Dedication to risk life for Sayasinin. I want to step outside and get some fresh air. As soon as I opened the door, I saw a figure hugging a bouquet of flowers and boxes of cakes. He walked over, working day and night. Seeing me, Luyan's smile froze instantly. His facial expression suddenly turned grim. What are you doing here? Sinin, Mr. Lu. Don't get me wrong. I'm here discussing a divorce with Sinfan. Joan, I'm grateful for these 3 years. You've been by her side instead of me. It's okay. Give me a number. How long will it take for you to walk away? Sini said. Luyan's eyes were gloomy. A familiar environment like mine. And yet, I have an even more attractive face than Luyan, although I know she's not that shallow kind of woman. I've been married to her for 3 years. With meticulous care, she healed my eyes. Luyan can hold Zitinin with the sweet memories of the past for a while, but it's not guaranteed that I can keep her for a lifetime. I am the biggest danger, I said with resignation. It's better if it's Cian, who I explained. In short, we're definitely getting a divorce. It will not affect your relationship with Sinan. I, on the other hand, want to leave with the money quickly and cleanly. But Sinan doesn't let me go. The big sponsor also owes me a great debt of gratitude towards Sinan. Commitment and guilt impossible to cut off. Confused, Luyan gave me a warning look. It would be better if you were a little smarter. I am the only man Sinan loves. No matter how much Physis sacrifices for Sinan, Sinan will never be able to love you. I could only lower my head and remain silent. Sinin was thinking of divorcing me. I heard the bustle from downstairs. It was then that I remembered Luyan said she would come to the villa. She quickly ran downstairs. "Luyan, what are you talking about with Fan Yan over there?" The tone Sinin was saying was a little aggressive. "Sinin." By chance, I ran into Mr. Fang at the door. We chatted for a while. "When are you gonna file for divorce?" At the mention of the word divorce, Sazingan's expression suddenly changed. Luyan didn't notice. Or if she did notice, would she continue talking? His objective was to return this time. Just to renew my relationship with Xian. Xian, this is your favorite purple lavender, I give it to you. Seeing Luyan in recent years, I remember the bouquet of flowers that Xian liked the most. Xiana's face became happier. Then Luyan looked at me. "Sir Fang, this is the Black Forest cake that I made with my own hands, Sinin's favorite food. If you don't mind, try it." He spoke with a tone of mocking contempt, directly confronting first, declared his crush-level sovereignty also indirectly hints at the separation between Nimasorai. I think this man is very strange originally. I had heard of Luyan's exploits, thought he was not that kind of spoiled, conceited boy who looks down on others. An adorable son of Rikish. Apart from not having the guts to cancel the engagement 3 years ago in other aspects, Luyan is indeed a good match for Siningang. Anyway, this is SIA Sining's choice. I have no right to interfere, no need. I go out for a walk. I have no interest in staying here to watch them kiss. When the light bulb, I'm not a pervert, Sining saw me leave, fearing that I would see Su Ro. Fang Joan, stay with me for a moment. I was completely paralyzed. Isn't she the older sister? You and your crush are very happy together. Why do you leave me like a chattering really Sinin? Luyan was also surprised for a moment. His expression changed instantly, as Sin said, "Mr. Fang, could you do me a favor? About those 3 years that I wasn't involved in, I really want to know how you cared for Sinin. Let me learn a little more. My head hurts, forget it, some things are better to clear up while we're all here." Luyan put the cake on the table like a host. I personally split the cake between Siasinin and me. Siasinin, what is your favorite part about eating Black Forest cake with honey glaze? I also added some berries. Thank you. Luyan, Silahart, was captivated by Luyan's perfect performance tonight, recalling every little moment of the past. That is a past that Hain can't let go of. The key is that Luyan still remembers and still acts like before, personally delivering Sinin's favorite bouquet of flowers, making the cake that Sin likes the most. Suor's platonic taste remains the same. Xiang's choice was not wrong. Even if Luyan was clumsy today, crossing the line, it's also because they met again after so long. Luyan simply couldn't control herself at that moment. Xin shouldn't react like that. Thinking of this, she felt guilty towards Luyan. She took a fork to taste the Black Forest cake that Luyan made with her own lips. Xian couldn't help but be stunned. The cake was improved by Luyan. It became even more delicious. But in the past 3 years, I have also cooked cakes for Queenan to try them. Before Siasinine was very moved. She will never taste what Luyan baked herself again. The best Black Forest cake in the world. Now comparing. The cake I made, it tastes better than Luyan's. Why do I have this feeling? Those memories of irreplaceable things I have, again. I also begin to realize that they are not so irreplaceable. It's delicious. Sinin Sia's nod seemed very indifferent. Luyan clearly noticed this. Her eyes showed a flash of displeasure. Curses. Indeed, Luyan's sinister premonition came true. He wanted to reconcile with Sasin. Then, I must disappear just now. Mr. Fan said that he would talk to you, Sinin, about the divorce when they think Ingang. Let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to file for divorce. Luyan's tone was a little hasty. Yes, okay then. Sasining tomorrow is divorce once again. Luyan wants a divorce. Sinin was distressed by the pressure. An image of that warmth that looked so much like her flashed through her mind. She threw the cake onto the table. Luyan, what am I supposed to do? Do you have to teach me this action? Luyan instantly surprised Luyan and me. Luyan quickly came back to his senses. Sinin quickly explained. I didn't mean that by this matter. I have my own ideas. You've already handed over the items. Hurry up and leave. Don't let others get confused. Uncle Lai bids farewell to the guests. Uncle Lee, who was standing aside, never thought things would get to this point. However, kicking Luyan out was something Uncle Lee had wanted to do for a long time. Mr. Liu and Mrs. Sia are emotionally unstable. Please come another day. Luyan left angrily. I thought that I was the owner of this home. Is Sia's crush that she can't get rid of by any means. I didn't expect that in an instant I would turn into a clown and still making a fool of myself. Wait for Luyan to leave. I really couldn't hold back and spoke of the divorce, Sning. You must think it over carefully. It can't affect your relationship with Mr. Liu Xiang. Stared at me as if she wanted to see into my heart. Fan, Joan, you don't love me so much. Love that you would go so far as to sacrifice even your life. Am I delaying the divorce process? Why do you keep pushing? Saezin, the man you love is Mr. Liu. He is your white moonlight. Haven't you thought about all this before? I really don't understand what you want to do. My words directly hurt Sinen's heart. Why do you have an unconscious resistance to divorcing me? This matter doesn't even Xiang understand what you want to do. The matter of divorce should be considered calmly. It doesn't only affect you and me. Luyan also affects to the SIA group. I don't want to complicate things. Saesinen dropped those words and, without further ado, went straight up, leaving me with a confused look. No, like that Sinen crazy? This time, I arrived at the entrance of the SIA group, looking at this skyscraper that rises towards the clouds. I squinted my eyes. It's time to take a break. Cyan's voice in the office sounded somewhat angry. Fang, Joan, didn't I tell you to go back to live at home? Why did you leave again last night? I gave Sinin an indifferent glance. I rented an apartment outside from today. We will start moving again. The same words. I don't want to repeat it again. Sae Sining about this matter last night. I spoke very clearly. I can move back, but first, we must start the divorce process. I also want to continue my career. Sin looked at me stunned. Is it still the same Fan who cared about everyone? Fan Joan, who works tirelessly after Queen found the photo of me and Goodnoen. It seems like I have really changed. Who do I love? Really love Saesinen? Think about this. Sasinin spoke with a tone lower Fangguan. You weren't like this before. Siasin, for the three of us, divorce is the best option I used to abide by the contract. Grateful for the kindness towards the Fang family, I was always willing to please you. Now that your eyes have recovered, we terminate the contract. Also, I should go back to get what I want. Hearing this, Siasening looked at me somewhat uncontrolled and said, Fanjoan, don't forget the contract is still 2 years old. Now you are disobeying my orders breach of contract. I have the right to take back everything I gave you. I have never seen like this or like that, Fan Joan. I just want to avoid complications. Consider that I ask you, but not now. Consider that I am asking you, could you move back here? We will talk about the divorce later. Didn't you say that you owe me a favor? Mentioning it doesn't make me feel so angry. Okay, can I move again? Can also wait for the divorce, but I will not return the house outside, and you cannot interfere in my career. Sin could only nod with gritted teeth after I left. Liu Kan then entered without, about the divorce. How did it go? Talking to Fan Wan, seeing Liu Kanen's expectant look. Siasening felt even more awkward. I don't plan on divorcing Fan. Wan, Liu was completely shocked to hear that. So are you going to reconcile with Liu no Sinin? What do you really think? Now is not the time for divorce. Sinin, isn't it that you're having any regrets? Are you falling in love with him?